Okay, this is the average word length program. Same thing I did last time. The program's over here and my Python screen's on the left. So let's take a look at the pseudocode here. The job of this program is to get a phrase from the user and then to compute the average word length. And so going to the bottom of the pseudocode so you can understand the end result first. To compute the average word length, we're going to find the total number of letters, and then we're going to divide by the number of words. That's what the average word length means. So, we'll need two counters because we need a numerator here. We need a counter for the number of letters, and then we need another counter for the number of words. So somehow we need to count both of those. So we will get a phrase from the user. We will create and initialize a word counter to 0. When we initialize it, we're going to make it 0. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have a separate counter for the letter counter. And now for each word in message, so we're going to step through each word in message, and every time we hit another word, we're going to increment the word counter by 1. We initialized it to 0, but every time we hit a new word, another word, we're going to increment the word counter, and then we count the number of letters in that word, and we increment the letter counter by the number of letters in the word. So we do that for each word in the message, and then when we're done, we do this. Okay, so we print an introductory stuff out, and then again, you should know what this is. This is just a naked print. Skips a line. Here we are getting the phrase from the user, and we're going to assign the phrase input by the user to phrase, and then we initialize our two counters. The word count is initialized to 0 and the letter count is initialized to 0. And here we are in the loop, so for word in the phrase. Okay, now here we're using this dot split method on the strings, on the phrase that we have here. So what it's going to do, the default, as you recall, for split is the separation character is a space. And so what you're going to get is you're going to get a list with a separate element consisting of the each word in order in that string. And of course the word is a string of some kind. So then what we do is we take to increment the letter count, we get the letter count previous. So the first time through the loop this would be 0 because remember we initialized it here, and we add to it the number of characters in the word. But that's just the len of the word. So if I go over here, for example, and I go len of dog, that tells me the number of letters in dog. DPG, DOG, but same difference, right? And then the word count, I increment once every time I get a new word. And so as I go through the loop here, you can see that I'm updating letter count using len of word, and updating word count by incrementing by 1. And then as we say in our pseudocode, we print the average word length is the total number of letters divided by the word count. So just to demonstrate how this dot split works here. So let's say the phrase input by the user was have a good day. I need to put quotes around that. Something like this. Okay. Okay, so if I say L equals phrase dot split, and this is essentially what I'm doing right in this line right here. I get a list which consists of each word in that list. And so you could go len of L. That would tell you how many words are in the list. That would be a faster way to do it than what we do here. We don't really need to actually do the word accumulator. Another way to do it would just have this be len of this list. And then what the implementation does here is it goes through and it takes for each of the words and increments the word counter and then increments the letter counter by doing the len of each one. And so that's the way it works.